I knew something was wrong the moment my father looked at my hands instead of my face, the way he always did when he was preparing to belittle me. He glanced at the faint calluses on my fingertips as small scars. That came from building something alone, and his mouth curled the way it did when he wanted to choose cruelty over silence. "Still playing with your little career?" he asked, loud enough for the whole table to hear. "Or have you found a real job yet?" I didn't answer. I never did. I learned early that his words weren't questions. They were knives he tossed just to watch me flinch. And for a long time, I did. I grew up in the echo of his disappointment, report cards ripped, ideas mocked, achievements dismissed with a wave of his hand. My father believed success came only in the shape he approved of: a corner office, a heavy watch, a voice that dominated rooms. Anything else, especially anything mine, was a hobby at best and a waste of time at worst. But he never once asked what I was building when I locked myself away for 12 hours a day. He never asked about the clients, the negotiations, the research, the late-night coding sessions that left my vision slightly blurred. He preferred the version of me he invented, the childish dreamer with no sense of direction. It made it easier for him to laugh, easier for him not to feel threatened. The last time he mocked me before that birthday dinner was 2 years ago. A memory still sharp, me standing in the doorway of his office with a business plan in hand. Naive enough to think he might help. He didn't even read it. He slid it back across the desk with one finger, as if touching it was distasteful. "You're not built for risk, sweetheart," he said. "Leave the real world to people who understand it." I walked out of his office that day with something better than his approval silence. The kind that hardens into resolve. I stopped asking. I stopped showing. I stopped hoping he'd change. Instead, I built my company quietly, like laying bricks in the dark. My father had always underestimated me because he never bothered to look closely enough to see the foundation forming under his feet. By the time his 60th birthday arrived, the foundation was already solid: multiple clients, international contracts, a revenue stream he wouldn't understand even if I spelled it out. But I still hadn't told him. I didn't need his pride. I only needed one moment of truth. My mother insisted on hosting a big dinner. "He's getting older," she kept saying. "Just show up, keep the peace." So I did, dressed in muted black, hair tied back, letting the shadows in the dining room cover me. My father loved being celebrated. He loved attention. He sat at the head of the table like a king waiting for tribute. When he mocked me again, calling my work cute nonsense, asking everyone whether I still sold little things online, I didn't look away this time. I watched his eyes as I calmly placed a small velvet box on the table. "Not a gift. A tool." He frowned. "What's that?" "A present," I said, though my voice felt colder than the silverware. "But before you open it, I want you to understand something." The room went quiet. My mother froze mid-sip. My cousins pretended not to stare. My father leaned back with the smugness of a man who thought he knew everything. I slid my phone out, opened the folder I'd prepared, and placed it beside the box. Numbers glowed on the screen: profit charts, growth curves, investment documents to government certifications, and evaluation stamped with an amount that made even my pulse stutter the first time I saw it. For months, I tracked every invoice, every contract, every confirmed partnership. Not to prove myself, just to be ready for this single moment. My father respected only numbers, so I brought him numbers sharp enough to cut him. He squinted at the screen. His arrogance faltered just slightly, the way a tower sways before it cracks. He looked from the charts to my face, trying to reconcile the daughter he mocked with the woman in front of him. "This is your company?" "Yes, these numbers can't be real. They're audited," I said, sliding the digital trail toward him. 6 different firms, 3 contracts renewing this quarter. "And that valuation? It's already outdated. We passed it last week." My father's fingers twitched. 2 decades of dominance flickered in his eyes, then struggled, then failed. He tapped the screen again as if a second look might change reality. "What's in the box?" he asked, voice thinner now. I nodded toward it. "Open it." He lifted the lid. Inside sat a simple statement, a printed check, framed in black velvet, not because I needed his money, but because I wanted him to see exactly what I had returned. The startup loan I once asked him for, the one he mocked me for even considering, matched down to the dollar, with interest calculated precisely from the date he dismissed me. "You never gave me the loan," I said quietly. "So I earned it myself, and now I'm paying it back, just so you understand that I never needed your permission to succeed." His face drained. Silence folded over the room like thick fog. My mother looked between us, eyes wide, but she said nothing. I reached for my phone, locked the screen, and stood. "I used to think your approval meant something," I told him. But all it ever did was slow me down. He didn't speak. He couldn't. He stared at the check as if it were a verdict. Maybe it was. As I walked toward the door, I felt 20 years of weight slip off my shoulders. The air outside was cool, Sharp, almost metallic. I breathed it in like freedom. Revenge doesn't always need fire. Sometimes it just needs truth placed gently, where it can't be ignored. Behind me, through the window, I saw him still staring at the numbers he never believed I could create. Numbers that rewrote the story he clung to about me. Some legacies break quietly. Some thrones fall without sound, and sometimes, the softest victory is letting someone choke on the reality they never cared to see. If you want to hear more stories carved from quiet shadows, stay close.